Good morning. It is currently rainy. It's gonna be, it looks like a major thunderstorm today. Partly, who knows? I don't know. It's Sunday, and I'm calling this I chose myself today, or at least partly, because I need to. Um, Yesterday with my brother was pretty okay. We had some small wins yet again. Even though, like I said yesterday, he had an eye exam scheduled, but he, is too anxious to stay long enough to get it. We went to a track meet, but again, he didn't last long enough to even see it. And I'm only laughing because at the end of the day, I asked him, it's like, did you have a good day? And then he was like, yeah. I was like, I guess as long as he thinks he had a good day, that's good. Because we spent the day driving around. I tried to investigate about the power of attorney and found out I needed more stuff. And I don't know. Sometimes I have to overlay what I say because sometimes I don't remember if I've said everything I needed to say in that day, because as I went to my band listening party, we listened to our new album while we're recording our next already, but it sounds great. We had some snacks and things like that, so they sent me home with some finger sandwiches and stuff that I brought to my brother. But and then as I was bringing them back, I was running behind because of traffic, because it is graduation weeks for a lot of these colleges. Sorry, I am so tired. And so I was probably, I don't know, 15 minutes late, and for a teacher, that's a lot of time. But anyway, by the time I got there, he was there. Okay, because I left a note. Right now we're doing notes because he doesn't have a cell phone. But the thing is, even when he had a cell phone, he wasn't answering. Okay, so so when I got there, it looked like he was finishing some parts of dinner, and I brought him the sandwiches, and he lingered around a little bit, but he was lingering a lot while I was cooking before I left for band practice or band listening party. So he was watching me cook and meal prepping and stuff, but he kind of lingered just a little bit, and then he said, you can keep the $38 because I give him an allowance, so I had to straighten it out where he thinks that I'm taking his money. I was like, honey, you have no idea how little your money pays for. I'm actually giving you money. But anyway, so he said, you can keep the $38 so you can buy a new cell phone for me, because I guess the one that he's looking at, which is a replacement, I guess, to the one that he lost, was a little bit more than $38. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And I felt proud of him. I even left him a note saying, I'm proud that you're my brother, which I am no matter what. But when he is regulated and when he is in his executive state, he is a decent person. He really is. And that's the I keep talking about this, where it's just like, when he is not regulated, and I'm gonna just be honest and frank here, he's selfish. He's I don't want to say controlling, but he's begging. He's I don't know. Yeah, it's like he's 4 years old. And when he's not regulated, when he is trying to bargain, and he even tried to do the whole well, I'll be sleeping on the ground kind of thing. I was like, I can't, I'm not affected by that, because I know I'm trying to get him to enjoy the life that he has. Like, he lives in a really nice apartment that, I don't know, yesterday again, I'm just flip-flopping again in my mind, but I'm not telling him that. But because this morning, yesterday he took the medicine by himself, and it seemed like things were going well. And like I said, he said you can have the money you were going to give me instead of me trying to buy like junk food or whatever he keeps asking for. Because again, he's 4 when he's unregulated, but he's 48. And he, it just started making me think, well, maybe the medicine is starting to work. Maybe he's starting to see like all the good things that he has, and he's like feeling good and things. And so he even put himself to bed, almost, sort of. Like, he put on pajamas for the first time in weeks by himself. I didn't have to tell him anything. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and then this morning, however, so, okay, my plan was today was to take him out, maybe to one of the mountains here in Atlanta. Atlanta has like 3 different mountains in the 50-mile radius. But, and I even looked it up. It might be a trip for another day. But I looked it up last night and all this stuff, and I was getting ready mentally to get up on a Sunday so he can get his medicine and food. So that was where I was, not following through with that. So it's one thing to get his medicine, but he needed to be eating as well, which he wasn't doing. So anyway, I get up. I'm getting over to the apartment. I also trying to have this not worried feeling of what if he's not there kind of thing. I was like, he's there. So I drive up, and this happened on my birthday last year, where I told him I was taking him out, and he was super excited about it. Again, just like a kid. I didn't think about it that day. This was like 6 months ago. He was already outside waiting for me 6 months ago. So when that happened, I just assumed that he had taken his medicine. So I take him out, and we're all out and about all day. And then I start to realize, like, wait a minute, he hasn't taken his medicine. So this time, he's outside waiting for me in the dark, and it's foggy and stuff. I was like, all right, let's go take your medicine, because I'm not even going to entertain that. If I asked him, he'll say yes, whether he did or not. Okay, so this is what I'm also learning. So we go upstairs, and of course he has not taken his medicine. He has his laptop now out, walking around with it. Luckily at our apartment building, we have a security guard that walks around, so I'm not fearful that he'll get like mugged or anything. But just the fact that he's just walking around now with his laptop so he can watch YouTube videos at night outside, I don't know. But anyway, so I take him back upstairs. It's basically 6 o'clock. So I give him his medicine. I make him breakfast, pull stuff out of the freezer, start cooking, and it's super foggy out when I was there, and I was like, all right, so let's eat first and then we'll go, because again, I fully expected to go still, but I wasn't going to drive out there in the fog. It was super thick this morning. Okay, and so my brother, I can kind of already tell again, I don't know if he slept through the night at all. And I already told you yesterday what happened when I sent a text to my mom about it, and she was like, she's still not getting it. So anyway, I don't think he actually slept through the night. He might have slept a couple hours, but he didn't seem like he slept through the night. So he seemed a little more kind of like, wired and whatnot, but happy. So that's the thing. I would prefer him to be wired and happy rather than agitated and begging and unregulated. But he was still kind of begging. So that was the other thing. So when I drove up, he was asking for his money, the $38. And I was like, yesterday afternoon, you told me that to keep it so you can get a phone. And I just told him, flatly, it makes me sad that you keep changing your mind. So notice I say keep changing your mind versus forgetting, because I have to be mindful about how I say things to him, because I'm starting to notice more of his personality versus the illness, and they're both very much intertwined. His personality versus the illness. He is a sensitive person. I've realized too, even yesterday when I came home to my house, that he needs to realize his love language is affirmation, like words of affirmation. Because even yesterday he tried to pull something shady again, because he needed lunch. And I paid him a compliment, just a simple little compliment. I didn't think anything of it, and then he just switched. It was like a light switch. He felt like, wow, that felt good. Like I could feel it in his body language. And so words of affirmation, that's some light in there. Words of affirmation is his love language, apparently. And so yeah, so I just said flatly as we were going up the stairs, that, I feel sad that you keep changing your mind versus you forgot. So I don't want him to feel bad about what's going on with him. So we get upstairs. I start pulling stuff out of the refrigerator, start cooking. I luckily, good on me, that I left a note saying that, basically, because he didn't even see that note. Or did he see that note and forgot? So when he saw the note right there where I left it, he was like, oh, yeah, you can keep it. It's like, and it was just done. So I have to keep writing the things that he is saying down, because he'll forget it. And he kind of left me alone at that point, sort of. So I made the breakfast, and then, like I said, I felt like he was a little wired this morning, and I put it in a bowl for him to. I was fully expected him to be eating it in the apartment. Then we go. He started unpacking it and putting it in a Tupperware, and I'm like, "What is he doing?" I didn't say anything. Then he puts it in his backpack, and then I'm like, next thing I know, I was like, yeah, we're gonna wait maybe 20 minutes before, so this fog will lift up or whatever, and then we're gonna go, because I don't want to drive in a fog. And that, I was thinking I would, taking a little nap or whatever, just close my eyes. He tries to leave the apartment. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'll wait for you downstairs. And that to me was like, I'm not gonna be twisting myself in the knots today. I'm really not. I have to kind of pace myself. Oh, I see someone is here from Iran. Hello. Good morning or good afternoon to you. So I look out the window. He is technically downstairs. I see him on the little sidewalk there, and he's with his laptop again, fully open, just, dancing around, I guess, waiting on me to come down there. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to go lay down. So I set my alarm on my watch for 45 minutes or for 40 minutes, and I rest my eyes, because I'm just like, I got to rest. This is the weekend. And I'm trying to preemptively keep him from having, another episode or anything like that. I'm trying to hope this medicine starts kicking in big time. We got to get in the therapy like yesterday. And also housing. So again, I'm still thinking on that, especially this morning, just when I was thinking maybe he can have a nurse or something. But if he's not even going to be in the apartment, I don't expect people to show up and not have somebody there. This is an industry where they're expecting people who can't move. It's like, not only can my brother move, he can run. Okay? He just has a bad memory. So back to, what I'm saying is like, yeah, I decided I'm just going to lay down for like 40 minutes. Not lay down. Because I'm just like, it's foggy out here. I'm not trying to drive out here. And he doesn't even remember it. And that was yet the other thing that I know. It's like, even if we go, he won't remember. And that's kind of like, and it made me start thinking about like when I took him to other places since we've been here. and he doesn't remember them. And I spend the money, like, and maybe I'm feeling guilty that I'm spending this money on stuff and he doesn't remember it. But yet he wants me to spend more money. It's like a weird cycle of things. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me take care of me right now. I chose me in that moment, right then and there. I was like, I'm gonna lay down. And so I did. And I laid down like in a meditation, like a yoga nidra meditation. Is that what it's called? Like complete flat, like just what's they call the dead pose? Just like release. But I was still awake. And then my alarm went off. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep choosing me. I'm just lay down for as long as I can, and maybe he'll come back upstairs and something else will happen. So I chose me yet again. I didn't put the alarm on it again at this time. So I just laid there. And then I actually did fall asleep. And I woke up and then I went back to sleep. And I did that on and off until about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago. Actually, yeah, more like 30 because this is already 15 minutes. And I was like, you know, he's not going to remember. Even if I take him to the mountains today, he's not going to remember. And I need to recharge myself. Okay? And I've got all these things I need to be planning. And just as I think he's showing me what he needs to show me in those moments the next day, it's like it never happened. And he's begging for money again. And he's trying to make me feel guilty about not having a cell phone that he lost. And I'm like, I can't. He wants the cell phone so he can wander off. And the fact that right now he can't, like, is probably burning him up. But then again, he's also saying he wants a house phone and a flip phone. So he is like all over the place. He knows there's something going on with him, but he doesn't either want to admit to it. And it makes him feel bad. And that's a trigger. So yeah, so I chose me. But then he did come back upstairs. And he kind of, even though I was awake, he kind of woke me up because I was like, I'm going to keep laying here until he walked right by me to the balcony. And then I did like a fake, like freak out, wake up, sorry. And then he was scared because he didn't realize I was there because he didn't see me. Like seriously, like sometimes it is like that. And so he was like, oh. And then I think he tried to mumble something about taking him to Walmart again because that's the thing that's stuck in his mind, to go to Walmart. And so I was kind of like groggy and whatnot and half asleep. And that's when, even though I thought I washed his clothes yesterday, or at least put them in the wash, he started loading the laundry. And this is actually a more spiritual lesson too. So I'm gonna look at the timing here. This might have to be a short. It's like, this is an energy exchange. When you give so much, they give less. When you give less, they pull up and they do what they need to do. This has happened before though. When I was about to have a migraine one day and I was with him, and I dropped him off. I was like, I'm about to be really, really sick. I have to go home and lay down. And I hadn't taught him how to bake potatoes yet, even though he knows how, but you know, again, the memory. And I had done it a few times before. So I drop him off and I go lay down seriously and go like take some migraine medication and lay down for like 3 or 4 hours. And I go back over there and he's make the attempt to try to bake the potatoes himself. Okay. So he can pull himself out of it sometimes, most times. And so when I do less, he does his part. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do, you know? And I understand that it is a struggle for him too. But I gotta know when to ease up and let down. And quite honestly, as my friend was saying, because she is a nurse and she's had, you know, training in psychiatry a little bit. It's like sometimes, you know, folks like this in this situation do better without family. And I can attest to this in a way that I know this is not necessarily related, but it related. So when I was teaching music to kids and young teenagers and stuff, it would always be the parents of musicians that would send their child to me and not them teaching them. You know, so there is some theory around that. So musicians would always send their children to me to teach them music rather than them doing it. So I can kind of get where she was going with that. So there's so much more benefit in having somebody else who's a trained professional. But yeah, it's trying to find those folks. We got to find them. We got to find them. And it's got to work. Okay? And I want good things for him. But I think I want him to want good things for himself. And to know his limitations too. Because even I did still see, I don't know how he got it, he's crafty, a copy of the lease. So he can easily go down there and ask for it. Because technically he's on the lease, but he doesn't have enough credit. He has not had a real job in like 20 years. His income is so minuscule that he would never get an apartment anyway. So sometimes I just let him do little side quests just to make him feel good rather than me tell him no. Just like when he asked the lady for an application when we went to the Waffle House, it's like they will run a credit check on you. They will look at your work history, which you have none. Okay, it's like I'm not going to try to tell him no. I'm going to let life tell him no, and that they just won't hire you, friend, because you don't have a work history. And he doesn't realize that. And yeah, so I definitely got to work on getting some therapy for him, family therapy for us. And I told my friend that I guess the next phone that he was going to get, even before he lost this one, was going to be a kid phone. I got to find a way to keep the phone where I think I found a harness, one of those new kind of harnesses where you can just wear it around your neck or your shoulder or whatever, and it won't fall or break. Because he can't hold on to a phone literally with his hands. Like they've all either broken or gotten lost, or he threw them away because he couldn't get them to work the way that he wanted them to work. Like that one time, a few months ago, when he put a bunch of apps on his thing and it was a bunch of Trojan horses and malware and stuff, and next thing you know, it's jacking up his phone, and then now he's running to me. So all the things that I'm trying to do is prevent him from running to me when something goes wrong. You know? I don't know. All right, friends. Like I said, it's raining out here. I need to go to the grocery store for myself because I went yesterday for him. I'll be back over there. I left him a note. I said I didn't feel good. Yeah, I was tired. Okay, and I rewrote what he said yesterday, that he wanted me to keep the money so I can get him a phone. And I'll keep writing it until he gets that's what he said. It's like it makes me angry, but I can't be angry with him because he really doesn't remember. And I don't know. Let me go. Because like I said, see, that's why I'm glad I didn't hit that road this morning. This is way too dangerous out here. All right, friends out here. I chose me, and I don't have any regrets. Because sometimes you do. You have to choose. As a caregiver, you got to do it. Okay? With that, I say take care.